many caffeinated drinks do you consume each day and why?
I try to shine away from caffeine because I'm a swimmer and it's really not that great for you.
1 a day.
I don't really drink that much caffeine. I drink more water.
About a frappe from McDonald's, once a day, and it's very good.
I don't.
Barely one.
I never have caffeine because I don't really like coffee and I hate soda, so 0.
I'm actually really healthy. I drink a lot of water.
In the morning, I usually have a cup of coffee for school so I stay awake, and lunch or dinner, I usually have a soda just to keep myself awake.
Once in a while, because usually when I drink it, it makes you tired.
I consume a lot of caffeinated drinks because I don't like water, and so that's all I really drink is like iced tea, soda.
Mostly just soda, but only once a day.
Actually, I'm on my way to go grab a Red Bull right now.
I consume about 1 caffeinated drink a day.
I go with maybe 2-3 Red Bulls and like 3 coffees.
Red Bull and soda.
I have 2 jobs, so I have to like drink energy drinks to just like stay awake.
I don't drink sodas, but I'll usually have like maybe 2-3 coffees a day.
I don't really like soda that much, and because it kind of gets me hyper and I stay up all night.
I just like the taste of coffee, and it just makes me awake. I'm ready to have fun.
Do you think you consume too much caffeine?
Yes.
Why?
Because sometimes I just do it when I don't need to do it, and I can just drink water sometimes.
I don't think I assume too much caffeine, though.
No, not at all.
I don't think I consume too much caffeine. I try and keep that at a minimum.
Everything seems like it has caffeine in it.
I know it's unhealthy for you, and I know I shouldn't do it, but it's just kind of like you kind of get addicted after a while.
Kristen, what's with the towel?
Oh, well, I just went for a run, trying to get a little energy boost in between shows.
Why didn't you just drink a coffee or something?
Well, I want to do it the natural way, and it was really nice out.
But drinking like an energy drink or something is so much easier.
But do you really think those energy drinks actually work?
Well, let's find out, Kristen. That's just what we'll be talking about today. The caffeine generation, energy drinks. Really? Hi, everyone. I'm Abe.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is Real Faith TV.
Many of the teens on the street we met at the beginning of the show felt that they consumed too much caffeine.
We'll hear from them a little later in the show, as well as meet our studio guests.
But first, let's meet our spotlight guest, Mary, who just completed her first year of college.
She'll share with us why she feels she consumes too much caffeine.
Let's meet her now.
I try to drink a lot of water, but I also drink like teas and coffee a lot. My caffeine intake is definitely more than it should be. I probably drink more than 3 caffeinated beverages, but I don't think any more than 10. Besides tea and coffee, lattes are really fun because it's something social that you do. So like going to get coffee with your friends or just spending time with them. But I try to stay away from energy drinks because those are extremely bad for you. I think I started drinking caffeinated beverages because I thought it was cool, just like to carry around a coffee mug with you just to like fit in and be cool. But then it actually became I needed caffeine to function. So it would be like in the morning when I go to get breakfast, I have to have coffee. Or in the midday when I'm kind of tired and I really don't want to continue on in the afternoon, I have to have coffee. So I kind of became dependent on the caffeine. Sometimes I really do feel that I can't go throughout the day without drinking a caffeinated beverage because I have to stay awake, I have to have energy, because I have tests and I have to go to mass, or I have to make time to meet with one of the students. So it's really hard for me to say, oh no, I could not drink caffeine anytime and I'll be great. Can I imagine my life without caffeine? Yes and no, because there's different alternatives to caffeine, but I think it's so easy. And drinking that Coke or drinking that coffee is a lot less time consuming than natural ways to tap into your own energy that you have yourself. Sleeping is probably one of the hardest things to do. I probably get around 3 to 5 hours on a regular basis because it's always so busy. So it's kind of hard to go to sleep when you have so many things on your mind. But again, I'm also probably wired from the 3 to 10 caffeinated beverages I've had throughout the day.
Yeah, I agree with Mary. It's definitely easier to like go for a cup of coffee instead of try to like get more sleep and plan that out. And I know like for me, it's easy to fall into like abusing caffeine. So I try to like space it out each week. So maybe I'm only having like 2 cups of coffee a week instead of having it every day. Because then especially your body gets immune and you might find yourself drinking multiple cups of coffee a day. So I try to, moderation.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's see what our studio guests have to say about this topic.
Okay, they are Danielle, Colette, Caitlin, Justin, Kenny, Ariana, Vanessa, and Justin.
Do you think you consume or our generation consumes too much caffeine?
I know for me, I'm like big on Monsters. Like do like 1 or 2 a day easy. Like I don't know, they're just really good, and it's like a way to like be up and like alert all the time. So I don't know. I know it's way too much, but I do what I can.
I know for me, I don't drink any coffee or soda at all. I don't really like it. But I know my friends, when they're getting up for school in the morning, they definitely drink 1 to 2 cups of coffee each day. So I don't think I could do that, but.
Yeah, I don't really like coffee that much, and when I do have soda, we're usually out to eat or at a party. We don't really keep soda in the house, so I don't think I really drink that much caffeine.
Yeah. I know for me, I'm one of those people in the morning before school that has to have a cup of coffee just because I don't get a lot of sleep, so I get really tired. So I'll wake up in the morning and I'll feel like, man, like if I don't have coffee, like what am I gonna do? I'm gonna be like falling asleep in class.
I'm not into energy drinks like Monster or Red Bull, but I'll definitely have like a soda or iced tea like in the middle of the day, you know, just because, I don't know, I don't really like the flavor of water. Like to me, it's just like better taste than soda and iced tea.
Yeah, I mean, I drink soda from time to time, like not for the caffeine or anything though, but I never drank coffee. I tried it like once. I don't like the flavor of it at all. It tastes disgusting. And I don't have energy drinks either.
So why do we consume so many energy drinks?
Is it a social thing, or are we really trying to get the energy to keep up with our busy lives?
And do the risks outweigh the benefits?
Honestly, are there really any benefits?
Do energy drinks really give you energy?
That's what we asked the teens on the street.
Let's check it out.
Do you believe that energy drinks, which are loaded with caffeine, really give you energy?
No, I think they give you an energy like high, but then like after a while you just get tired.
I think they do give you energy for a short amount of time because like I have them a lot and I have like all this energy and then I crash.
I think they give you a fake energy, like something small, you know, nothing real. I think it's all in your head actually. I think once you like drink it, you're like, oh, automatically I think I'm gonna be hyper.
I think it's more of a mental thing and more that people just drink it just to drink Monster, like a big name logo.
Yes, I think they do give you a lot of energy, but in the wrong ways.
Energy drinks that have that much caffeine in them actually just boost up like your energy for a quick second or two.
For a short amount of time, but I think the crash is more effective than the energy it gives you.
There's so much sugar in them that of course you're gonna get hyper from the energy drinks. I don't know, when I have them I'm like bouncing off the walls.
When I drink them, I don't really notice any difference.
I believe that energy drinks do not give you energy.
I think they're really dangerous and we don't know what it's bad about them, and we probably won't know like years from now. They make me really nervous.
Well, in my science class, what I learned is energy drinks are really bad for you, so I choose to stay away from those stuff.
What negative effects have you experienced from consuming high levels of caffeine throughout the day?
At night I crash. After I drink a lot of coffee, automatically it's a crash. I sleep so much the next day.
A migraine, that will happen to you.
Stay hyper and stay up.
I've been like hyper or whatever, and then at the end of the day I just end up crashing.
I get really like jittery, but then I get really tired.
I get stomach aches a lot after I have an energy drink.
It makes you feel like really sluggish, and then your like stomach starts to hurt, and then you just want to like drink a lot more of it.
I'll be real hyper at one point, then after nowhere, just get real tired.
I like get really hyper, and then and a couple hours later, I should just like fall asleep because it's like a meltdown.
I get hyper and then really tired. I used to drink a lot of energy drinks and stuff like that, and you drink them, you know what I mean, you feel pretty good, but then afterwards you wouldn't feel so good.
I get headaches and I feel sick and I feel like weak.
Sometimes I'll get a headache if I had too much coffee. In school, if I'd be taking a test, I'd all of a sudden feel really tired and dizzy.
I think the teens on the street got it right. Energy drinks give you a temporary boost, but there are negative side effects.
Mayo Clinic nutritionist Catherine Zaratsky writes that most energy drinks contain large amounts of caffeine, which can provide a temporary energy boost.
Some energy drinks contain sugar and other substances.
The boost is short-lived, however, and may be accompanied by other problems.
For example, energy drinks that contain sugar may contribute to weight gain, and too much caffeine can lead to nervousness, irritability,
insomnia, rapid heartbeat,
and increased blood pressure.
Not to mention a side effect our spotlight guest Mary found out about the hard way. She has become dependent on the caffeine.
Next, Mary tells us about this, as well as some of the other negative side effects and misconceptions about caffeine, which she discovered.
It's a common misconception that energy drinks actually give you energy, because if you think about it, yes, you have that 2 hours where you're completely wired, but then because there's so much caffeine in these energy drinks, you have the same amount of crash. So it's kind of counterproductive in a way. It's definitely shocking when you realize that you're dependent on the caffeine. So that's definitely a negative effect, because you usually don't think, oh, I don't need coffee to go through the day. But then when you're studying for 5-6 hours, when you have a job, you're just like, I need something to keep me awake. So I guess dependency, and also some other health issues. People can start having so much dependency where they get withdrawal symptoms because caffeine starts becoming somewhat like a drug. Health risks that can be associated to caffeine can be like insomnia, so not being able to sleep, headaches because you have the withdrawal. So if you do have heart problems and you are consuming these beverages with a lot of caffeine in them, it can lead to more heart problems or sometimes even death. It's really hard to remember a time when I didn't drink so much caffeine, but I remember one of the first times I had caffeine at the place where I'm currently living. It was really hard for me because after having this really great caffeinated beverage, I was like, this is so awesome. But then I realized for 3 days I couldn't sleep. I could not get to bed. And it was very hard to think about, why can't I sleep? What's going on? Maybe I'm just really stressed out because it's the first time away from home. And then in retrospect, I was thinking, I was just, maybe it was that coffee, or maybe it was that drink that I did have at the Cove that day. So it's just being mindful of what you put into your body.
A special article on the health effects of energy drinks on children, adolescents, and young adults in the official journal of the American Academy of Pediatrics states that,
according to self-report surveys, energy drinks are consumed by 30% to 50% of adolescents and young adults.
frequently containing high and unregulated amounts of caffeine, these drinks have been reported in association with serious adverse effects,
especially in children, adolescents, and young adults with seizures, diabetes, cardiac abnormalities,
or mood and behavioral disorders, or those who take certain medications.
Of the 5,448 U.S. caffeine overdoses reported in 2007,
46% occurred in those younger than 19 years.
Several countries and states have debated or restricted their sales and advertising.
Have any of you or any of your friends considered the harmful side effects of consuming too much caffeine?
I used to have a friend, and she was always addicted to the Monster, and it always said there was small print on the side of the can that you're not supposed to have more than 3 because you could have a heart attack from it because of all the jitters it gave you. And she would have 4, and I'd say, maybe you should kind of stop, and she'd go, oh, how could a drink really do that to me? And then 5 minutes later, she'd be crashed on the couch because she was so jittery.
That's literally why I stop at 2 Monsters a day. It's because of that little thing on the side, so.
No.
I think one thing to be aware of is that your body builds up a tolerance to the caffeine. So if you get really used to having 1 drink a day, then your body will just get used to it, and then you'll need more and more to function with any drug. So it's you just have to limit yourself, set a boundary for yourself and be okay, I'm not gonna have more than this because I don't want it to get to a point where I just can't stop drinking it.
I know for me, I've tried to ration my caffeine, especially because a few years ago I was getting frappuccinos every day, and because I love drinks like that and chais, and I'd start to get really, really bad heart palpitations, and my face would flush, and I'd swell up, and it would be really scary, and I'd get chest pains, and the only thing I think could think that I did differently that day was too much caffeine, or I'd be having drinks like that every day of the week. And so it happened to me a couple times, and I realized wow, that was the caffeine. So it was so scary that now I watch myself, and I try to have maybe only 1 or 2 drinks a week at the most if I have any, and I only take caffeine if it's absolutely necessary, I guess. But I feel it's not really necessary. Is it? I feel we can get fresh air or drink water or something, because oxygen really gives us true natural energy. So, and there's no harmful effects in drinking water.
It's really weird that you mentioned the heart palpitations, because my mom a couple months ago, she drinks tea almost every day, and she realized she was getting heart palpitations more often than she usually does. She couldn't breathe sometimes, she would crash at work, and she didn't know what it was. She went to the doctor, and she found out that it was actually the caffeinated tea that was making her heart really speed up really fast. So she has to drink decaffeinated drinks all the time because if she doesn't, then her heart's gonna like really speed up fast and it gets really uncomfortable for her.
Do you think that our generation consumes too much caffeine?
That's what we asked the teens on the street.
Let's check it out.
Do you think that our generation overdoes it with our intake of caffeine?
Yeah, they definitely do.
Definitely.
Definitely, with soda and everything, Dunkin' Donuts, everyone stopping like before school and everything.
Probably. I mean, we're all like hyped up on like coffee and Red Bull. All my friends that go to high school stop for coffee every single day just to make it through the high school day. So I think they definitely overdo it.
No, not really. It depends on the people. Like, it depends, like, some people work in businesses and they need to stay up. Some people work overnight, they need to stay up. Like me, I don't work overnight, so I don't really care for caffeine that much, but it depends on what you're doing for a professional relationship situation.
In general, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think they rely on it too much instead of just sleeping.
I don't think so because caffeine, it doesn't really kill anybody. It's not hurting anybody.
I think that our generation drinks more caffeine than they definitely should because most people, they drink like bottles and bottles of soda every day, which like results in high blood pressure.
Too many people are either dying of like diabetes or like heart failures because of too much sugar.
Yeah, probably, because I see kids with energy drinks all the time, like drinking 3 a day.
Yeah, we do. Because it's so cheap in the grocery stores, so we do have a lot of caffeine intake.
What has been your experience? Do you think that we are the caffeine generation? Do we consume too much caffeine?
I think definitely, yeah. Like, I don't know, like, I know like Monster's like a big thing. Like you walk down the street, you see like people wearing like Monster shirts or like Monster hats. Like, I don't know, it's just like the thing now.
The brand name logo
Yeah.
of it.
I know someone that has a Monster wristband thing, and he drinks a lot of Monster
Yeah,
too.
like it's everywhere, so it's like hard to not be that kind of generation.
And the Red Bull.
Yeah.
It gives me wings.
Yeah. And it becomes a part of the culture too, like how Mary was saying before, that it's just like, you know, going for coffee with friends, like it's a social thing, and like how Monsters become so popular. It's like, you know, it might be that people just do it more just because it's, you know, it's something to do.
I know in the morning at my school, I always see people with Dunkin' Donuts walking down the hallway like all the time. They always have it in their hands, so.
I feel like drinking coffee is such a common thing, especially like in the morning. Even on cartoons, you'll see the dad with a cup of coffee and the newspaper. It's something that's always there.
Lattes and all that stuff, that you have like the whipped cream and it's like refreshing, and you know, if it's a hot day outside, you get a cold one, and if it's cold outside, you get a warm one. So it's, you know, it's all around us all the time, Starbucks and things like that. And Starbucks is also like a social type of place to like network and do like work.
Like we say, it's a social thing. I think one way to solve that problem is maybe if you're going to go out for coffee with friends, get decaf, so it's healthier. There are solutions. The church teaches us that our bodies are wonderfully made in the image of God.
We need to take good care of our bodies for that reason.
This includes eating right, exercising, and getting the right amount of sleep.
Perhaps a good first step is making sure we are not consuming too much sugar or foods that might sap our natural energy.
It all begins with us and making the right choices.
When Mary went away to college, she could no longer rely on her mother to help her make health choices.
Next, she shares how difficult this was.
And how she is working on other ways to get that decaffeinated energy boost.
Let's hear her now.
Being on my own for the first time was definitely a different experience. So I had to make my own health choices. My mom wasn't there to tell me, hey, you shouldn't drink that. So I thought, hey, I can drink it. So it was definitely an eye-opening experience to say, maybe I should walk around with a liter of water. And it was just, when I started to like just work out on a daily basis, it was just like I was just so much happier, and I was actually had so much more energy, and I was able to get so much more done because I had a structure where I said, okay, today I worked out a set amount of hours, so I'm gonna drink a set amount of water. So, and just not drink that caffeinated beverage, or not drink Coke today, or maybe just once this week. Some alternatives that I've actually researched myself are exercise, power exercises. So jumping jacks, breathing, and walking. Like, you'd be surprised because you're opening up your lungs and you're just filling your body with oxygen. And oxygen itself helps you to become more energetic. Jumping up and down, like 5 times fast or 10 times fast, whatever, can give you that energy that you need. When you're a young child and you're like in class and you're very lethargic, the teacher would get you to jump up really fast, 10 times, and just sit back down, and you'd feel rejuvenated. It's definitely not as easy to be so healthy in a culture which is such a fast-paced lifestyle. So I guess something would be going to the cafeteria and seeing that Coke or seeing that Pepsi or seeing that coffee and just say, you know, that's really not something I should be doing. Let me go for the water.
Can you share any other ways to get a decaffeinated energy boost?
I'd say hit the gym. It's a good way to get a good boost and make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, like even if you like don't have time to go to the gym or something, like if you have open floor space, just knock out a couple push-ups or something like that.
Yeah, or like what I like to do is like if I'm feeling really tired, I'll just be like, okay, and I'll like jump up and down like a few times. And it's like, it takes energy to do it and you're like, ah, but like once you do it, you feel so much more energized and refreshed.
If you have the time, like take a 20-minute like cat nap. It always, like when you wake up, you always feel more energy. So
instead of like slugging out of bed, just like jump out of bed and try to, even though it's hard when you first wake up, if you just try to put just fake energy into it, you start to get hyped up just by putting energy into everything you do.
I think drinking water too, because if you're dehydrated, you tend to get really tired, and you may think you need caffeine when you really just need a little water. The virtue of temperance helps us to make good decisions about how much is too much, even of a good thing.
The Catechism tells us that temperance disposes us to avoid every kind of excess.
The abuse of food, alcohol, tobacco, or medicine.
By practicing this virtue, we can build ourselves to last.
By taking in only what is good and right for our bodies.
In this way, our faith can teach us about making good decisions and not consuming caffeine, or anything really in excess.
Next, we asked the teens on the street whether they felt it was important to take care of their bodies.
And if they found any guidance from their faith on this issue.
You have to take care of your body, and if you don't take care of your body, then you're just going to not care about yourself, and then it's going to lead to more negative effects in your life.
Yeah, I believe my body is a temple of Holy Spirit, and you know, the better I treat it, the more I can like be youthful in my older years, like J-Lo.
I don't think drinking energy drinks is like against anything, against my religion.
Motto that I always go by is take what you need, not what you want. Because like if you take what you need, it's more or less a healthy thing than if you take what you want, because people could want bad things.
Not really, because they didn't have energy drinks back then. They didn't have anything really to amp up the body.
This is true. I don't think people in biblical times had Red Bull or Monster, but the point is that we should take care of the body God gave us and treat it with respect.
Next, Mary shares the role her faith plays in her plan to try to cut down on her intake of caffeine.
Faith is always important. It can always be used to our everyday lives. But one thing that I see definitely is being dependent on the caffeine. Like, I should only be dependent on God. I'm trying not to drink as many caffeinated beverages, but I suffer from like withdrawal headaches. So it's very hard to say, oh, I'm not going to do it, because I know that if I were to just have that coffee or that caffeinated drink, my headache would go away. So in a way, when I do have a headache, I do try to say, you know what, I'm gonna offer this up. I'm gonna take this suffering that I have, this momentary suffering, and turn it back to you, Lord. So it's definitely hard, because sometimes I can't function. Sometimes I'm just like, my headaches are so bad. Definitely like praying and meeting with the Lord, just saying, you know, God, you are my salvation, you are my strength. Be my strength. I don't need that right now, not today. It's definitely a work in progress. It's beautiful to see the different people that the Lord puts in your life. And one of my very close friends, she's one of the healthiest people I know. And her word of endearment for me is Rosie. So she'd say, Rosie, did you drink water today? And I'd be like, no. And she'll be like, well, I think you should drink water. And just definitely her reminding me that I need to be mindful of how I act and how I take care of my body. So like the fact that she's challenging me to make sure that I'm healthy. So just having her there is definitely like, builds fortitude for me. So it's probably not going to be easy to cut down on my caffeine intake by myself, but I know that with the help and support of my friends and the Lord, I will be able to at least use caffeine in moderation.
So have you found that your faith or prayer can help you make better decisions, especially with respecting our body with stuff like caffeine?
Well, one of the 7 deadly sins is gluttony, and to not like overindulge yourself on things. And God sacrificed himself for us, and so we should treat our bodies, which is a temple of him, with respect, and we should take care of ourselves.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is like Mary was saying, like, you know, if you want to, you know, try to make better choices, like just ask God for help, you know, like, you know, pray about it and like ask God to help point you in the right direction and make you able to resist that temptation of doing it all the time.
The Catechism reminds us that life and physical health are precious gifts entrusted to us by God.
We must take reasonable care of them.
Taking reasonable care means doing the things we were saying: sleep, eat well, and exercise.
Feed your mind and spirit.
These are steps to becoming a whole person.
Caffeine and energy drinks become their own kind of drug.
An outside substance that works against the natural order of the body.
Having a Frappuccino with a friend one afternoon may not be a serious offense against the body.
But becoming caffeine dependent may be going too far.
Have you overcome a dependency of caffeine?
Tell us about your experience.
Contact us at realfaithtv.com.
Or share your thoughts with us on Twitter.
And we'll leave you today with this prayer.
Lord, thank you for my body.
Please help me to be a good steward of this gift.
To take care of myself and consume only good things.
Help me to have the discipline I need to get things done.
And the strength to resist the temptation not to sleep and recover.
I trust that you have made me in a wonderful way.
And you will provide all the energy I need. Amen.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time on
Real Faith
TV.
God bless.